So first things first. When you're going to the game, do you think about stuff in the champions or in the loading screen, or what do you do during this part of the?
Yeah, usually I look at which like lanes are easier to gank if I start red or blue.
Mhm.
Because like I look at if my level 4 is like compatible with certain uh lane states. I don't know. Okay, excuse my dog, by the way.
It's okay.
It's
It's okay.
compatible with the lane states, so I just try to do that. Um,
So
I
what's
don't
your
know.
assessment on this game?
Um, I, honestly, when I was like trying to play this game, I wasn't really trying to think. It's been a while since I've had my last game, so I was just not really thinking, if I'm being honest.
Right, but if you were to assess it now, like now that you have the free time, how would you think about it?
Um, let's see. I would definitely try. I would probably try to leave. Um, well, I know like Gangplank and Tryndamere matchup is probably Tryndamere favored. So I might want to help my top laner get an advantage. But I was also looking at my bot lane. They have um, they could use some help considering. Well, I don't know bot lane matchups too much because I don't know how these matchups work. All I really look at are the kind of crowd control that they have, and if I could help them, if I could get a lead with uh, what kind of skills they have.
Right.
So that's all I'm really thinking when I try to assess it. Yeah.
Okay. So generally here, you have a rough situation here in the sense that Fiddlesticks usually has certain champions that he likes to have inside of his team comp, and in this team composition with GP, Lissandra, and Senna, none of these are really the ideal components that you want, but because it's solo queue, I mean you don't get to like draft your teammates, whatever. So
Right.
the our best case here um is actually Lissandra. She has one of the most consistent forms of CC, either getting near and with E and then pressing W to snare Fizz, or getting to level 6 and then locking Fizz up, and you realize that Fizz has no cleanse or anything of that nature. So almost always that guarantees like a kill, especially if Fizz is trickster. What is it called? Trickster thingy.
Playful trickster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
playful trickster is on cooldown. So that's your best bet. Bot lane, you could also look at it bot lane as well, like you mentioned. They might need some help. Generally, this matchup tends to be good earlier on because Senna has poke versus Sona, and therefore, she could try to lower their HP. Same with Jinx with the higher, with like a higher range with rockets. So there are those stuff. It's kind of volatile, right? Eventually, though, the reason why you want to go to bot lane is because at some point Sona is going to be better than Senna in a lot of situations where she starts overhealing everyone, and then their effective HP is going to be higher than what they normally would. So getting pressure early on when Sona is still weak is an abusable factor. So mainly when you're looking at, so after you're done assessing mid lane, so this is done. When you're looking at bot lane, the thing we want to assess is what's our target. Well, we see that Caitlyn has cleanse, so there's gonna be an issue because there's no way for your teammates to force cleanse naturally. I mean, of course, if Caitlyn randomly walks up and eats a Senna W, then of course. But we're
Right.
assuming that these players would be able to think and play it normally first because the game hasn't started. Generally, you start changing your win conditions if you see certain play patterns from your opponents that you feel like is abusable. For example, if later in the game we see that Caitlyn is way too aggressive and starts eating all the poke and eating all the skill shots, then maybe you can still gank this lane because she's not playing it correctly, right? So
Right. Right.
those are some factors. So then again, in bot lane, our main target would be Sona, and in top lane, as you mentioned, this is um for the most part Tryndamere favored. The only parts of this lane where it's not Tryndamere favored is actually pre-6, when Tryndamere can't necessarily just perma dive GP and get away with it. So There's a window here early game, but it's very hard to do because GP also has like no reliable CC. His only way of helping you in terms of like setting up ganks would be if he lands a barrel onto Tryndamere, and even then he can spin away. So in the order of importance, it would be something like priority would be mid lane, bot lane, and then top lane would be last. So do you understand like all
Okay.
the concepts so far?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's generally like because there's a good amount of time in the from champion select, from loading screen, so that you have all this time to think whenever you're trying to you know make an early game plan for yourself. And because the thing is with jungling, I know you're not familiar with jungling as much.
Yeah, yeah.
The most important about jungle is that the early game. If you screw up the early game, you will probably screw up the rest of your team. You realize that if you fail to plan for early game stuff and things don't go the right way, you will start losing objectives naturally. Sometimes your teammates will flame you for it, but it's because it's not necessarily you losing objectives as a problem. It's you didn't have a game plan early on, so you're not strong enough to contest any objectives anymore. So that's the importance of like, especially for junglers, to calculate all your early game stuff right, like right from the loading screen.
Okay. I see. I see.
All right. So let's get into game. Quite a lengthy loading screen is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's a pretty long loading screen. I think it might have taken 2 minutes. I don't know.
Might have been 3 minutes. Look at this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You could just skip ahead. It's fine.
okay, 4 minutes. Oh, sorry. It happened
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Okay. So you start with blue smite and pink ward. Okay. You're confident. You have practiced his clears, I assume.
Actually, yeah. You know what? This game, I'm embarrassed to say, I did not clear properly. In fact, I had a pretty late full clear. Yeah, I'm gonna need to practice a bit more. You're gonna see some fails.
Okay.
Just from my clear. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's see it. Nothing seems to happen. You warded your own bush, which is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it begins. I like it that you're at least pressing tab. I'm not sure what you're checking. This
Um.
happens.
Well, I'm actually checking if like another enemy appeared in the map. So I was just checking for items. So I saw Sejuani
Good.
appear in the map. Yeah.
Yep. You know where to stand for this double camp.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Uh,
I
wait, wait,
screw up
wait.
here actually.
Oh. Okay. No, it's still fine. Still good.
Well, wait and see. I actually screw up the clear here. Yeah, this one. Krugs. I
Wait.
stand at the here. I didn't
Oh no!
exactly. I screw it up here.
I said it too soon. Okay. Oh yeah, this is definitely screwed up. But you know your mistake, right? Like you
Yeah,
just need
yeah,
to know like where you're standing. Okay.
yeah. Like I didn't. Yeah, I need to practice this more.
Okay. But also one more thing is that to be more efficient with your jungle clears or with how you play jungle. So one important thing that I always say inside of my coaching sessions is that especially if you're a jungler, but this applies to everyone. As a jungler, you should always be looking at your laners. Like if you're not doing anything or if you have like an idle time where you're not necessarily actively clicking or kiting camps. For example, a good moment to practice this when you're playing Fiddlesticks is when you press W. You're not moving, right? You know what's gonna
Right.
happen. The full duration's gonna go off, and you're gonna drain the same channel. You're not gonna do anything. So in the moment that you're channeling, have you heard of the term F keys?
Uh, yeah, like F1 to F4. Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah. So as you're channeling your W, you press your F keys to look at your lanes and just get as much information as you can. Because this role is pretty much impossible to play if you don't have any information, unless you're just asking to be lucky. But if your goal is to reach diamond, you can't be lucky. You have to be skillful. Right?
Okay.
That's one of the things you have to practice. Because already, like, look at this. Like, we're looking at this VOD review, and you're gonna find it silly. The more I say, look at the map when, um, you you stand in front of these camps and you're just looking at it, sucking, monster camps dry. Now here you're looking at it, a bit, which is good, right? But um, that needs to be like a constant thing. I'm pretty sure that at your level you're not like constantly doing that just yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Like for example, this one. See, you're not looking at anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter whether something's necessarily happening or not, because you could also look at, okay, what's the wave states, like um is mid lane pushing towards Lissandra, is bot lane going very aggressive, is someone necessarily mispositioning during lane. So like you can get like player tendencies and all these like um facts that you can observe from the game just by looking at the lanes. Like, look, we're just sitting here, sort of doing like a podcast because we're we're not really looking at anything. We're just watching you clear. So
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. So you know that's a Sejuani gank bot. Now a common thing that you also have to note. Um, okay, see that's the issue, by the way. Like, this is what I mean by you need to gather information. So, for example, you already saw Sejuani bot lane. I think you panned your camera somewhere here, like when you saw him appear on the map, right? But as you're trying to like weave in auto attacks in between in between these camps, as well as pressing W, you never looked again, which means you never saw what they did in bot lane, and you're lucky here that your teammate eventually pings what they used as summoner spells. So
Oh, thanks, teammate.
yeah. Now, of course, in games like this, you're gonna be like, "Oh wow! I mean, that's pretty useful. Sejuani doesn't have flash. That's cool." But what if they didn't do that? What if you have terrible teammates? How would you rely on consistently winning games if you don't get the information? So
Right, right.
yeah, that's what I mean. And another thing is that every time a jungler shows up, like this, as soon as a jungler shows up, you must practice your brain. Let me go back again. This is really important. Everything in the early game is important. So I have to break everything down for you.
Sure, sure, sure.
So here, as soon as Sejuani comes up in the minimap, your first step before even looking bot lane here should be pressing tab. You want to know why?
Uh, wait. I don't know why.
So the reason is you could check his CS, and his
Oh yeah,
CS
true.
will tell you what camps he's taken, how many, or not necessarily what, but how many camps has he taken. If you don't know, every camp is at least is 4 CS, exactly 4 CS. Gromp is 4 CS, Blue is 4 CS, and the only thing different is Krugs, which is 8 CS because it's like
Oh
a
yeah.
bigger camp.
Okay, okay.
So it's very easy for you to calculate like how many camps he's taken, as well as depending on for example, which buffs that he has, or like if you figure out like which lane are leashed, you could pretty much map out like his entire pathing from this point on. Like that's why earlier on, I'm not sure if you've watched higher level games or anything of that nature, but generally, a lot of higher elo players they would like to get as much information on the enemy jungler early on, like by putting wards here or like here, or anything like that, because as soon as the enemy jungler gets spotted, they basically they can track it through fog of war, and it allows their laners to play differently, either to play more aggressively or defensively, depending on the side of the jungler that they spotted it. So yeah, so in this particular scenario, the first thing you should figure out is, okay, if I tab here, what should I see? Now, given the timer here, he's probably around 5 camps ish. So you should probably see something around 20 CS, 24 CS. And if it's not, it's something weird. Like for example, you see something like 12 or something, I don't know. If he did something else, then
Yeah.
you start picking up on, okay, so maybe he kept on like Krugs, maybe he kept on Grump, I don't know. Like you start factoring out which camps they still have up, and so you can start looking at it from the opponent's perspective, in the sense that, okay, well, if he indeed left like Krugs up or Grump up, that means that might be a possible thing he might look on in the future, and so you could either counter jungle one of them, or like just warn your laners that hey, I'm pinging here because potentially a minute or a minute later, that's where the enemy jungler is going, something like that, right?
Okay.
Okay, so we fast forward.
So
Yeah,
sorry,
sorry.
hold on. What's Scuttle Crabs? Is it also 4?
Yes,
Like
Scuttle is also force. Yes.
okay, okay. All right. So
And here, like for example, like stuff like that where you see the scuttle grab also being gone, you can double check it again. I can press tab here and see like, okay, well, -4 on Sejuani CS, how many camps did he take? Something like that.
okay.
Hmm.
Wait, I don't.
Ooh,
I
burn
mean,
cleanse.
try to do something here. I'm not entirely sure if it's a good decision to do that.
Um, well, okay. Well, yeah, I was about to talk about that actually. So the thing here is that before you even make the action of going bot lane, you have to understand why you're going there. And that's, I know that's something a bit difficult to train as early on, but it's something that you need to grow further into this role. For example, here, as you were clicking up, right? Look at bot lane again. Like before you commit to clicking down with these clicks right here, before you commit to doing that, because your champion requires level 6 to to get the first power spike, which is your ult. Right. So
Right.
it is important to not waste time. And in general, early game, that's the most important concept. It's probably the most boring concept, honestly. But it you can't underrate it at this point that you cannot waste time. Anything
Okay.
that you do in the early game, no matter what your role is, you have to factor in time. If it's in the early game, everything has to be efficient. So for example here, you can't afford to lose this many seconds, and even more if you commit further. If if the situation or if the decision doesn't end up in resulting like at a natural advantage that would slowly snowball you the game. Because the safest play here is to start recalling in this bush, or start recalling here really, because there's no vision here, and then start pathing into your topside camps, which is spawning really soon, right? So that's the safest play. Now what you did here is that because you didn't look, now we see it. Now we see it. So even if you didn't look, actually, you can sort of assess what happened. They just had a major fight in bot lane, and you could look at this part of the screen where you can see your allies, and you see that Senna is like chunked. You can also see that on your minimap, Jinx is only just going back to lane. So for your bot laners, and this is why jungle is a very difficult role, because it tends to be that the more you play or the more you understand other roles, the better you are at jungle. But it doesn't mean you have to. Right? It doesn't mean you have to you play those roles. It's just that that's one of the benefits of people who played lane before and then transitioned to jungle. But since you didn't, I'll explain to you what's gonna happen here. Um, for Jinx, she's gonna start walking back. Right, that's just a natural thing that she should do right now, and start picking up all this wave. This is what's important right now. And for Senna, she wants to recall. She's very low. She just took a bad trade. She probably used some sums or something during that fight, and she doesn't want to be in this lane anymore. For Caitlyn, she's also about to, well, she should ideally look to reset as well, or continue to pressure if her support is here. So there's a bunch of factors already going on here. So as we play through the VOD, right, we see that Sona is still here. This only means that they're still entertaining to stay, whether it's for one more wave, whether it's clearing this wave, or whether they want to get maybe like a third plate or some other advantage. They're staying. Right now, if you look at the count of champions, it's currently a 2v2, but it's not really a 2v2 because Senna's really low.
Yeah.
So this is almost out of the factor at this point. And right now, no one can help you. You don't have your ult yet. And this wave, look, this melee minion wave is the start of the next wave. So there's now 2 waves worth of CS here for Jinx to collect, and you're looking to gank. The question is this a good idea or not?
Nah, probably not. I don't think it is.
Yes. So that is the correct answer. And the simple reason here is not only is there nothing to gain, but there's way more to lose. One thing is time. When you're losing time here, you're not taking your raptors. You're not pathing towards your Krugs. You're losing potential XP over time, if you get what I mean. Right? Like you're wasting a lot during this, but also um, potentially, let's say a fight continues to happen, and for some reason, this wave goes into the turret, and then Jinx starts following you into the fight. So, and then the question there is like, can you get a kill? Is the kill even there? And to me, it looks very unlikely. It's the fact that there's not enough damage for Jinx early game. There's also not enough like power for you in the early game as well. So what are we killing here? So this kill question is such a big question mark. If anything, it's such a low percentage chance, and even then, is it worth it? Because if these minions crash into the turret, you're losing also XP and gold. Well, technically, you're not losing the XP, but mainly the gold here that you'll be getting for free. So if you look at this on like a whole chart, where okay, we're potentially losing time, we're not even sure if we're gonna get a kill, whereas Jinx getting to farm the CS and you recalling saves time, gets him the XP, gets him the gold. I feel like it's like when you break it down like that, it becomes simple that, oh, well, yeah, I shouldn't be here, right? Like if you had all the time to break down every variable in this gank, you would almost always think that this is bad, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the idea. So obviously there's still some merit to this. Like when you did this, and he burned cleanse for no reason, that's technically a win. It's not like you
It's not.
you did the best thing to do in that scenario, but you salvaged it because you're already committed to clicking downwards anyway. Might as well do something. And here we see parts of
I
the
flashed
issue.
here.
Yeah, yeah. That's fine. We can set that as a panic button. But here we see part of the issue, right? Because we wasted time, the problem here is that Sejuani is now back here. So a common concept in this game is called tempo. Do you play chess by any means?
A little bit.
Okay, so a little bit means that you probably aren't familiar with tempo. But basically, the idea here in League of Legends is that you gain tempo if you're faster on the map than the opponent. So for example, what Sejuani has here is that he's a recall up against you. So he already has some items, he's already recovered HP, mana, all that, and you're still here. You still have 1,000 gold that you haven't spent. Because theoretically, right? Probably not. He probably has around like 1.2k gold. The difference is, right? Because you're saying like, oh, I already have 1k gold. I mean, it's basically even, right? But the difference is he has already recalled. He has spent this gold, whereas you still haven't. So, because you haven't recalled, you're now weaker than Sejuani until you recall. You get that?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. This becomes an issue, and then for Fiddlesticks, whose early game is like super important, you're now in terms of in this matchup going pretty far behind because Sejuani is gonna start taking camps again, and you're just coming off your base. It's like a snowball factor. Comes in.
Right.
I like rushing Sorcerer's Roost here. I think that's the best idea in this case. Okay, so you go back to taking your camps. You should use your smite here, ASAP.
I don't know if I did. I think I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. So the reasoning why you want to smite ASAP is because first of all you have 2 charges, right? Meaning you can't really wait for more charges, so might as well use it now. And the idea of like using smite charges as fast as you can because it consumes your jungle item faster. Right?
Okay. Gets me to 900 true damage.
Yep, as well as the slow, which is gonna be useful for your ganks. So, but okay. You are clean now. Now let's talk about jungle pathing. I know there's quite a lot for the first 5 minutes, but I hope
no problem.
You're holding on.
No problem.
Yeah. So let's talk about jungle pathing. Now, in terms of like how you should go about looking at where you should go next, especially for this point. I feel like a lot of like low elo junglers are confused when it comes to this part. Where like, okay, I clear Raptors, and I notice that I have 2 places to go. I either go Krugs or I go to my Wolves. And oftentimes, um, I think the most default scenario, especially for those people who don't play jungle a lot, is they look at their lanes and like, oh, my bot lane's getting pushed. Might as well path towards there and get my camp. Is that
Yeah,
your reasoning?
yeah, primarily because yeah, they were pushing in. That was mostly my reason why I decided to path toward wolves.
Right.
Yeah,
So the thing is, earlier on we had information that uh when Sejuani walked back down, he still had red buff, meaning that's a second buff that he took. Not even sure if you
right.
caught that, but that was something that we saw on screen, meaning that his path was something to start topside and bot and then gank bot. So you have sort of an idea whether you've seen the CS or not. You have sort of mapped out, even with little information, where he was. Meaning you could also, sort of think about it as you also know where he could be. Because if he took topside camps first, that means his top camps are spawning first,
Okay.
increasing the odds that Sejuani might be in this area as you have reset. So knowing this, you are both now topside. Like let's just say hypothetically you're both topside right now because you have no information. So
Hmm.
let's look at your camps now. And in the way you've cleared this in the past, this Krugs has spawned first, then this Wolves. And this Gromp is about to spawn in about 30 seconds. Um I think. Yeah, something like that. So um now instead of going down, because here's what happens. If you take this Wolves, you'll clear it so fast that Gromp won't even be up yet. Or you might have to wait for a few seconds, then Gromp would be up. Whereas
Right.
if you go Krugs, walk back down to Wolves and to Gromp, you know that like you're not wasting any time doing so. I mean, yes, potentially this loop that you see right here, where you're like going back and forth, is technically kind of wasted time. But um, think of it
Grump isn't
as
up yet.
yeah, think of it as at least you're always doing something.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's always that, and yeah, but that's only part of the thing that you could do. Like it's one thing, it's one play. Other thing that you could look at is that well, if both of us are topside, Ken Sejuani, a much more known to be you know better at ganking at this stage than Fiddlesticks, can he gank any of my laners? We see that mid lane is gone, but we see that top lane is very shoved. So we could potentially um have more points into going into Krugs because not only does it factor in not wasting time given the route I told you earlier, but also in the event that Sejuani shows up on this ward right here, you're able to be closer in proximity to help GP, and he won't die. Right? So there's a lot of merit. So the way you look at it is like how like which one is a better path looking forward into the future. So you have to be looking at it in advance. You can't just be, for example, in chess, you can't just be making like one movers. You might as well calculate, what would the opponent do and what's my response to it, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So that's the thing here. And let's see how it flows out. So as you go bot, Sejuani does indeed go top. That's the issue. A lot of times a good jungler is labeled as you're right there at the right time, at the right place at the right time. And here it seems like you're a bit lost because you're on the opposite side of the map where the gank happened. I
Yeah.
like the intention here. I want to quickly appreciate the intention here that as soon as something happened topside, you don't just immediately like, oh, well, all right, that's sad. I'm just recall here because that's nothing to do. Your immediate thought is to create counterplay in bot side. So I think that's in reaction to Sejuani. Am I right?
Honestly, I don't remember. But that might have been the intention.
Well, 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 because I saw it through your pings. It's as if you felt the need to right away go bot, even though because your grandpa's coming up. You could have just waited for that and farmed. But I like the aggressiveness.
Oh, wait. Um. To be honest, I don't think that was my intention. If
Okay,
I'm.
but
Yeah.
it's good for you to train that's the intention. Like
Okay.
when
Okay.
when something happens on the opposite side of the map with Sejuani, you have to counterplay on the other side of the map. Whether it's ganking bot lane, whether it's counter jungling, his bot side camps, anything. Because if you take if you take Gromp there, or if you start recalling to base, that is almost always going to like lose you more games than you would normally would.
Yeah.
It's just because basically what you're doing there is it's like a net loss of like -1 because like you lost GP. Whereas if you gain camps here, or if you get a kill here in bot lane like you did, you offset what Sejuani did, and so it's making the game a bit more balanced,
Okay.
right? So yeah, okay, that was very good. Whether intended or not, that was it ended up being good.
All right.
And I saw through your camera and through your clicks that that was like a good intention play rather than you just got lucky. So that's pretty good. The thing is, when I mean like intention, like because in lower MMRs, some people don't actively think about this. It's more like their instinct is already good enough that they don't have to actively think.
Okay.
So
I think. Well, I think my reason was I just saw that they were just pushing it. It's like my initial thought from what do you call that camp? The Raptors. I think that was like my intention when I really needed to be there. I just skipped Gromp. That's why I did that. And I think that was just my reason. It wasn't really
yeah, well,
like your reason. Yeah.
sure, but that like I
Yeah.
said, it doesn't necessarily have to be that you've said it the way I did. Maybe your mind processed it fast enough that you didn't have to think about it. That's what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
Because I mean, I'm not trying to praise you
No,
so
it's
much.
fine.
I'm not trying to praise you so much here, but I'm I'm merely saying that other low elo junglers wouldn't even see that as an option.
Oh, okay. All right.
So in one way, I'm showing you the strengths that you should keep, and then pointing out to you like some of the stuff that you need to work on, right? So okay, this I don't think is like a good intention play. I mean, you might still die, yeah, whatever. And you got a flash.
I think I get a kill here. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Okay, but initially I thought this was pretty bold, but
Okay.
um I I it's because I saw the channel like so early. So I think this would have worked, but I was waiting for Fizz to start last hitting this minion. Like
I
I
see.
would I would have waited, but like here, let me pause in the moment you channel. See, like the thing is like Fizz hasn't committed to an action yet. Like he could still like use playful trickster away from this point or whatever. Like if he has like what do you call this, like danger sense, like not
Mhm.
necessarily that predict that you're gonna ult, but like if he knows that, oh, I should get out of here ASAP, right? Like he could still do that. He's not committed to anything. So maybe I would have done it like around here when he starts hitting that minion, or
Okay.
when or maybe when this minion's like low HP and as he's going for the last hit, maybe then I'll ult. So, but either way, pretty good gank. I like that you're trying to be more proactive in terms of, you know, using your ult right away as you got to 6. So by all means, I don't hate it. It's just that there's just a refinement later on because as players get better as you climb up with fiddlesticks, um, people will try to bait out ganks like that, and then if they haven't committed to a certain action, they will avoid your gank and waste your ult potentially. Yeah, yeah, cool. I mean, this is pretty simple. This is just they overextended in lane. You have predator. You could run them down. I mean, no, all's good.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
the only thing different I'd probably do here is that I would start pinging more.
Okay.
Um, are you the person the type of person who likes to chat in game?
No, I don't chat at all.
That's even better. Okay, so the thing is, these guys are humans as well. So sometimes when you ping once, it just kind of it's like a faint sound in their head. They probably didn't remember what you just pinged. Now,
Okay.
for some other people, um, that's already like a like a insta signal for them. Oh, okay, like we're getting ganked here, or we're gonna get a gank from our fiddlesticks. But because you don't know what type of players these are, this is the first time you've played with them, blah blah blah, and it's like gold, which is a pretty low MMR to begin with. Um,
Yeah.
you need to command attention from these players. So the rule of thumb when it comes to pinging is for you to like command attention from someone is usually around 3 pings. You
Okay.
ping 3 times that you're on the way. And if you feel like the the thing is urgent, for example, like you're looking at the timing where you have to do it now rather than it's coming up. Like for example, here because you're ganking, you can only ping 3 times because it's gonna take you a while to get there. You know,
Right.
you're just making them aware that oh, I'm coming, guys. Yeah, we're gonna screw them up. But
Okay.
if the intention is, for example, you have to fight them now, or else we won't win this fight. You will ping like 5 times, until you get like muted from pings.
Okay.
It's annoying to some players, but like the thing is, we don't care if they get annoyed. We just want to send the message anyway. So like if they're gonna be as like sensitive about it that you want to win the game and they don't, that's not your problem anymore, right?
Okay.
So there you go. This is overall a good gank. Yeah. So if you had pinged more, maybe they wouldn't start to walk back in the beginning of this gank, but they were able to follow up. And the thing is, Fiddlesticks is like an independent sort of jungler. Like you can do whatever you want. You don't need as much help from your teammates as you can see here. Like they barely helped here. They autoed a bit and all that, but
I
mainly
see.
most of that was you. Okay. Let's see what you do here.
I don't remember. I think I might have gotten my blue. I'm not sure.
Ooh. Okay. So I particularly like don't like this
Okay.
because okay, so here's the system I want you to remember next time you play jungle, is that use your camps as a reward after your gank. Because
Okay.
look at it from advance. You're gonna recall here. You're gonna get items. You're gonna go back to doing camps anyway. So what
All right.
changed? Like like in that sequence, the only thing difference is the only difference is you just got items. Do you need those items necessarily right now to clear these camps? I don't think so.
Ah. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Whereas you can maybe clear these camps. Clear blue, Gromp is coming up, Wolves coming up, go back to your red, go back to your Krugs. If you clear everything, you have more gold. Now you go up for a stronger recall. And then you get back to lanes, whatever, bot lane, top lane, doesn't matter. Okay. During this time, your ult cooldown's going off soon. So you could potentially look for a play already. Now that you've cleared all your camps, now that you have way better items. You see what
All
I
right.
mean? Whereas like if you go that way where you recall, get items with your current gold, you clear camps, you realize there's not enough time yet for your ult. You have to recall again. Like it's a bit awkward. And
Right. Right.
you might say like, well, what if there's like a random fight that happens? Then wouldn't it be like um recalling here be better because I have the items right now? But yeah, but you can't predict that fight's just gonna randomly happen.
Okay.
So in order to be more consistent, you have to find these like, you know, 90% plays as I call it, where like 90% of the time it's gonna work. You're not waiting for like a 10% chance they on an offset chance they randomly fight, right?
Right.
So yeah, everything clear so far?
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty
Right.
good. Pretty good.
Now we go to itemize it to our rocket belt. Here instead of taking another amp dome, I would pick up a dark seal. Do you ever purchase that item?
Um. No, because I'm scared that I might lose my stacks.
Okay, so the thing is, dark seal is very cost effective even without stacks.
Okay.
It also has a higher resale value, so even if you don't get anything from it later on, you still will get like most of your money back.
All
Um,
right.
so it's much better because this amp tome doesn't change anything. Like this amp tome isn't gonna be like the difference between you killing someone or not. So unless that's a difference, you should usually get Dark Seal, especially earlier in the game, um, when you have the chance to potentially stack it up. That's what you're going for. Is that you get Dark Seal early on because you don't know. You don't know whether you would be able to stack it to full, like 10 stacks, or it's just gonna sit there as like a small AP item, and then you can just sell it again.
Okay, okay.
But it's way
So
more. It's way more useful in this amp town right now. Yeah.
all right.
But I like your buy. This is a very sensible buy so far. It's not like the worst. I've seen worse. Okay. Now we go back to Dwarian camps. Raptors are gone. And see now we see the problem of like not clearing your camps. The issue is that it's almost always a waste of time now to take your Krugs. And
Yeah.
this is because you didn't take it the second time when it spawned. So it's like what? It's currently like level 4 Krugs or something. And
Oh wait, pause. I don't know when you're gonna get to this discussion. I don't know, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've heard of this term before, but I don't know what it means. Rubber banding. Like apparently, like camps have levels. I'm not sure. Like I don't even check. I don't even know what that means. I don't even check what my level my camps are.
okay, that's fine. Basically what that means is like every time you clear your camps, the next time it respawns, gets the average level of your team, I think. Something like that. It's based on like the level of your team, and it will spawn like a stronger version of that camp. But
I see.
yeah, in this case, you can check. You can click on this wolf, for example. You will show the level here.
Okay.
But yeah, in this case, for example, like because this Krug camp hasn't been cleared at all, like it's gonna stay level 4 for the rest of the game. So you might be surprised later on when you have so much time, you clear the Skrugs and the XP is gonna be like plus 100. It's barely gonna budge your XP bar.
Right.
So yeah, that's the importance of clearing your camps. Because now the thing is, well, sure, like now that you're aware of that, you can just think like, well, then I'll just skip Krugs because it means nothing. But if you do that, what if they're taking Krugs constantly? That means you're always behind HCS in terms of camps. That's bad.
Okay.
Like the XP gap between you and the enemy jungler is gonna grow like significantly as time goes on. What are we doing here?
Oh, I think they were taking Dragon, and I wanted to help my team, but they already took it, and then I wanted to like
Ooh.
retaliate, maybe get something else. But it was like a fail. It was a fail attempt.
Yeah. So here, this is one of those situations where it's a bad decision. And again, decision making is not an easy thing to train. You have to play way more games. And I know you've played less, but if you
Yeah.
really want to get diamond, you have to play more games because that's the easiest way for you to get better at decision making. The other way to train is what I personally do because I have less time. I watch high elo games, and
Okay.
before they make a decision, I pause and I ask myself, what should I do and why should I do it? If the person ends up doing something else, I try to reassess. Like why does that happen? Why did he do that? And if it doesn't end up being my way, that means I think like a high elo player at that point, right?
Okay.
So that's one way to train. If you don't have time, which I don't know if you do.
I don't have time. I really don't play a lot of games.
Okay, so that's one thing that could help you because it helps me a lot.
Okay.
Like you don't even have to like watch like a whole like VOD of a game. You can like skip the moments, like a random moment in the YouTube bar, just click on it, and then you're gonna be like, okay, what do I do here? You know?
Okay. Okay.
It's just to train your memory. And now I wish there was a website that like does that where like it shows you like a screenshot of the game, kind of like this one on the freeze frame here, and then like you could run some drills where you start thinking what they're supposed to do, and then at the click of a button it plays the clip. I wish there's like a cool website like that. Actually.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right.
No, I'm just saying like that would be a cool idea. Okay, here. So if your intuition is that they're doing dragon, you have to assess like how are you going to contest this. So as for your part of the play, you're just waiting for your ult, and then you're just gonna ult in. It's not that hard to figure that out, right? But
Right.
as for your teammates, so we dial back a bit. As for your teammates, this is the issue: is that Jinx just got back the lane, meaning they're not in any position close enough in proximity to the dragon. Senna hasn't even based, and it's already like chunked in terms of HP, in terms of mana, no ultimate as well. So Senna won't be as useful in this fight as well. And Fizz is already in this river, right around here. And Lissandra is still trying to shove the wave. So in terms of tempo, they're ahead because they're already on the dragon potentially here, and you have no positional advantage to 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 win the team fight or to contest the Drake. The best idea
Okay.
here is that you give the Drake. It's only one Drake anyway. It's not like the game is lost after this one Drake,
Yeah,
right?
but it's Fire Drake. Whatever. Okay, you're the
Yeah, no,
expert.
yeah, but yes, but I mean, you joke about that, but that's what most people think actually. Even
Oh, really?
even
Okay.
in higher MMR games, people don't let go of a single Drake because they think that, oh, I mean, this Drake is OP and all that. Like, I don't know, it's weird. But like the main thing here is that if they're getting dragon, and you know they're gonna get dragon, you have to cut your losses and try to gain something elsewhere, which is through camps. Um, like maybe this is the time to wrap back up the top lane and get Herald, maybe anything. But you don't try to like contest everything as much as you can, unless it means like it's a huge swing for the game. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
Right. So there you go.
Bad decision, this one. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, see, like, look, even after the fight, like, Lissandra was nowhere near, and Jinx is just still in tower. Like, they can't help you guys no matter what.
Yeah.
So, yep. Okay. See what you do here. You run down bot side. Already questionable. But I'm waiting to see what happens. Should be nothing. Okay, so you take your bot side camps.
I think that was the reason why I took, because there's no camps to. I mean, I'm not sure if there were actually camps to clear top side.
There
That's
is.
why I went bot.
There are two camps you see on the minimap. Well,
Right.
technically, it's a waste of time to take Krugs, but you do have Raptors. And then you walk forward here. And what's the idea?
I think I was thinking. I don't know. I was like incredibly stupid decision. Hold on. But yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to ult, but I
Oh, this
realized I had
is
like
free.
40 seconds.
This is so free. Yeah. Okay. I mean that was incredibly lucky. That's just this isn't even good intention. It's just it ended up being good for you. But like if you look at the opponents, right? Why does he go in like this? What is this? Where does Fizz see the kill here or anything? Like there's nothing. This is just it's a mistake. And you just happen to be there, so it becomes free. So this is
Yeah.
one of those things where you got completely lucky. It's like a good result, but like your intention is pretty bad here because you're just running around doing nothing. You just
True.
it just
I
so
was
happened,
chicken.
yeah, it just so happened like Fizz just randomly killed himself. So let me just go back. Let me just go back and like give you what should be the thought process when you're getting back into this game. So when you when you spawned, you could choose whichever side. I don't really care. Especially for low MMRs, like your specific like optimal pathing doesn't really matter for as long as you're doing the right thing. So here, I don't care if you go bot side. So okay, you choose to go bot side, but you have no ult yet. There's no play to be done here. Now maybe Lissandra wants to do something, but you could also see that it's pretty impossible given that the opponents are just not committing to anything. They're just in the middle of the lane. Now we can't see it, but the wave is shoving back into them, and the play is reliant on Caitlyn and Sona shoving the lane again and disrespecting the fact that they could die. So it's such a bad thing. So here, just default to clearing your camps. This is just what you could do while waiting for your ult. And then here we walk down. Instead of walking down, we could have been taking our Grump. We could have been taking our Wolves. You know what I mean? Like that's way more efficient use of our time because then you're actually gaining something that's guaranteed gold and XP. You ended up gaining gold and XP here, but it's through a mistake. So yeah, the key thing that you're learning right now, as we're going to this VOD review, is that we should avoid making these like decisions that aren't guaranteed, aren't consistent enough to win us games. You know, it's reliant on the opponents making errors, right? Hello? I think your mic died. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll wait for you to get back.
Hello?
Oh,
Am
yeah,
I
yeah, 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 yeah.
there we
Okay.
go. Sorry.
So is that all clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Like
was yeah.
look, like just look at how many camps you have up, and like how long have there, like,
They've
you
been
know,
up.
yeah, they've been up, and like this whole time. I mean, yes, eventually, like, bam, look at this, Sejuani kill, woohoo! But like, that shouldn't even, like, Lissandra has flash, he has ways to get out with his E. Like, Sejuani shouldn't even be there. So, you know, like, well, yes, I mean, that's the beauty of Fiddlesticks, is that, you know, it's such a good champion in punishing mistakes as well, because, like, you have so many tools that you could use, even if you're not making the optimal decisions, but you shouldn't necessarily rely on it. You know, you shouldn't abuse the fact that your champion does that, because the moment you play a different champion, all of a sudden you no longer know how to play jungle.
Okay.
Yeah. So here I'm teaching you the fundamentals rather than just like, oh,
Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks, Drain, haha, Crowstorm. Okay, this is a good timing, gank. I mean, Fizz should have known it, but you know, it's good punish either way. Nice. That
I
was
don't
the
know how I'm getting kills here. Oh, sorry. I was
yeah,
just
no,
commenting.
it's because they're being gold. I don't know how else to say it. That one.
Ouch.
This one's too much though. This one's too much for sure. I
Okay.
mean,
I
Caitlyn
should
walks
have
up.
backed off.
Yeah, Caitlyn walks up and takes like a whole Senna W. I mean, what is happening? Right, all of this completely random. Like, look, you got nothing out of it. You guys blew flash, lost, and this Grump could have been dead. You could have been recalling, like anything.
Did I smite this? I did.
Yeah, nice. See, that should be more common in your future games.
All right.
Where you just use the second charge so that the charges start coming up back up. Okay, I mean these guys, they could be dead. Your ult's gonna come up. Yep. Yep. Boom. Fiddlesticks is OP. Good. Yeah, their bot lane is like really bad, and you're just better, I guess.
Is he actually OP? I just like his lore.
Well, if you're gonna ask me that, most people don't think it is. I think he's one of the sleeper champs in this patch.
Okay.
You know what that means, right? Like a sleeper pick.
Nobody picks him.
Yeah, nobody picks, but he's strong. Yeah,
Okay.
he's so good. Like, he's actually so good, especially in low MMR games. Like I said, like where they make a lot of like these random mistakes. He's so good into it. Like he just makes you pay for it quickly.
Okay. I was lucky then that he's strong.
Yeah.
That's-
No, I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's like it's not even about his numbers or anything. Like it's not like he got buffed or anything crazy like that. It's just because his kit is so like anti-noob, if you know what I mean.
Ah, okay.
Like his kit just in general just works. Like when you don't see Fiddle on the map and all of a sudden like you get ulted, very annoying. So many fears, silences, and draining forever. You know, like it's those annoying mechanics that just works against like people who don't know what they're doing.
I think we screwed this up. I think. Yeah.
But you got Sona. I think you're back out here though. TP ult. He'll
I
fade as
missed my
well.
E.
Oh, he flashed.
No, he flashed.
Okay, that's about it. I
Oh,
think here you just back out. Yep.
no, I don't.
Oh
I don't. I remember
no!
this. I don't.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So as far as Fiddlesticks mechanics are concerned, and there's not a lot, so there's one thing that should you should be easier to practice. But remember, there are two rules on your ulting. Number one, are they overextended enough that it doesn't matter whether you're seen, or it doesn't matter like whatever they're doing. Like if they're overextended enough, you just ult anyway. Like whatever. They will get hit, you will kill them, it's fine. The other thing is, are they committed to an action or not? Are they hitting dragon? Are they throwing spells on minions? If they are, you could ult. If not, then it's a risky ult, because you wouldn't know like when they can just like safely disengage, or like click backwards in this case. So every time you're presented with this type of ult where it's like a variable um on whether it works or not, you have to ask yourself a question. Like you have to make sure that that ult lands, or else you're just wasting 2 minutes of your life
Okay.
after the ult. And this is one of those examples. Like, look, Fizz isn't even doing anything. He hasn't like committed to like an E or anything. He was just walking, and then you ulted anyway. But also, what I mean, it's such a short-term idea. It's because your idea here is that if he walks
If he
forward,
commits,
yeah, if he commits to it, yeah, he eats your whole ult and dies. But so what? Like what does that change? I mean, you're just getting one free kill. Whereas if you recalled here or something, maybe just played back and wait for your team to spawn, you could have your ult to contest dragon again.
right.
Like
Yeah,
why are we wasting it on just one with this lonely Fizz? Right?
terrible decision.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's fine. It's okay to make mistakes like this, especially because you're getting back into the groove of playing the game again. Uh, because it means you're learning faster. Like, look at how long we've been talking here. Actually, how long is it? We've been about an hour, and
An hour.
there's only like 16 minutes into the game. You've learned so much potentially from just one game, and you have like a whole VOD to review in case you forget anything that I've said. Right? Like so, it's pretty valuable. Like getting
Yeah,
this is why playing more games, or just playing games, really, it doesn't matter the volume. Just getting to learn from these games, not just mindlessly spamming it, will help you climb faster than you should. Okay.
what do I do here? I don't remember. I don't have ult for this,
Yep.
so
I don't know. I don't know why we have to do this. Nope. I mean, I would wait till Lissandra happens, maybe, because you're kind of fed. Doesn't matter if you don't have ult.
oh, I remember what happens now.
Way too early. This is way too early. Yeah, and yeah, your camera control is pretty bad as well. Like for example here, where is it? Like here, like the camera should be a bit lower. Like I don't need to see these parts of the map, like
Okay.
meaningless. Like just move your camera down left or down right. Same thing as you kite up, as you flash here. Like I want to see what Lissandra is doing right now. Like this needs to be my camera. Like it doesn't have to be completely centered. You know where you are.
Okay. Okay.
So it's rough for me to assess like what's the right thing to do here when I don't see anything. Okay, so fight's looking a bit south. I just get out of here. Yep. Okay. But you see how late the action like or the decision comes when you don't look at the fights, or when you
Right.
don't have the proper camera control. Like like the way I decide on doing something comes in seconds later, which in a game that's fast paced like League, you can't afford to miss like seconds of these moments sometimes. Okay. And this is just weird. I don't know what you're doing here. You're dead.
I, I
You're
was
dead.
trying to like get like an ult angle from
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, but you have like your team is struggling already. Look at this. Look at the time that you walk up. Like Jinx is struggling to wave clear and hit Sejuani. GB is coming off base. This is a 2v3. And they can barely help you. Like I said, the champion that you rely the most on here when it comes to the team comp is Lissandra, and she's dead. GP has no ult. Like there's just nothing much going for you here. It's one of those fights where I don't know, like maybe 40% of the time you get like a kill here. But are we really taking these odds? I don't think so.
No.
Especially if you want to really get better. Like it's just not something we have to look at. Okay. So now, I mean, again, every freeze frame I do, I just see all your camps and be like, "Wow, imagine if those were down. Imagine if you were like 100 CS right now instead of 80. You have more gold to get to the items that you want because really, Fiddlesticks is already like a full champion after like Sork Shoes, Rocket Belt, and Zonias. Like that's basically all that you need. And until then, you're not fully unleashed. I mean, you have stopwatch, I guess, but like, yeah. Okay, so now we're back to clearing camps. We should be doing way earlier. We know that now. Um, Here we're looking to a play mid. Oh, sorry, I missed it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would like to think it's like lack of coordination almost. And also, actually, this is just pretty bad. I just realized.
Oh,
So a couple of things. Again, more often than not, again, you don't want to like make an ult when they're not committed yet. Number one. Number two is that you want to be able to analyze whether your teammates can follow up on you. So you know that
okay.
GP ult can just follow up, like regardless, like whatever. But you have to make sure that those factors align. What do I mean by that? So when you're looking here, start pinging that you're gonna ult. Start pinging your R, ping on the way, ping GP ult. Like communicate everything you want to happen because this needs to be perfect. If you don't win this fight, you lose 2 towers and potentially an inhib. It's bad. So if you're gonna take this important fight, you have to make sure everyone's on the same page, right? Like, or yeah, whatever. And also, one other thing that's important here is that Lissandra has no E, so she has no way of getting in and engaging with you, anything like that. So when you go in here, look at how poorly this was. So you go in when they haven't committed to hitting tower. I mean, Caitlyn has committed to hitting tower, but he's very far, right? He's on the way here. Your ult's on the way here,
Right.
which reaches about, I don't know, it's a bad circle, but whatever. So it doesn't affect Caitlyn. The targets that you have aren't committed to anything, so it's not like they're gonna walk in most of your ult. They can simply walk out. Also, GP doesn't know that yet. I mean, we can't assume that GP will ult here, and the Sandra can't follow up. So look at what happens. You're in here, boom, you fear everyone. There's no damage following up. You fear Caitlyn, no damage following up yet, and then the engage is over. It's done. I mean, look at how late the GP ult was. Like everything happened in the wrong timing. Um, and here, I mean, to be honest, like what you should have done here is that before the fear ends, like I don't know if you know this. There's like a CC bar at the top, like this white thingy. Not sure if you
Right.
see that.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, but like there's like a CC bar on every champion. Before that thing runs out, you have to click on your stopwatch because that means you're waiting for a time for your teammates to catch up before you get bursted. Because your mistake here is that when you didn't do that, look at your HP from 1-4 half.
I was actually spamming my stopwatch at this point, but
Yeah,
you know it's
but,
too late. Yeah.
but it needs to be faster. You need to look at those like bars that I told you earlier because they're gonna react instantly. Like it's not like, oh, after they get feared, like let's wait for a minute. I mean, Fiddle is like taking his time killing us. Like let's also take our time. No, these guys are people as well. They're gonna get frustrated. Like, oh my god, guys, we got ulted by Fiddle again. Can we please kill this guy? Right? Like that's what you feel. You get angry and you throw everything at you. So in order to predict that will happen, just stop watch anyway. Because now you can't do it. It's too late. You're dead. Do you get the thought process like in my
Yeah.
head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gosh, I didn't think my well I always knew my decisions were bad, but because
Yeah.
I'm a headless chicken, but I didn't think it would be that bad.
Yeah. So I mean I'm fine. By the way, like we reached the point in the VOD review where things are starting to get more complicated. So as we get deeper into this VOD, I am so almost certain you won't get this overnight. This is something that you have to play out through many games. Maybe you have to rewatch this VOD review at some point. But
Okay.
I'm explaining it to you now because I'm making the most out of your buck. That's really the honest thing about this.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks.
because I want you to get out of this session that okay, dude, I have all the tools that I need to get better. I just have to work on it. That's literally it. You don't have to, waste more money and buy more coaching sessions from me. I want this to be the last one, and you're just gonna get diamond. Like, that's the ideal goal. So
Okay. Okay.
that's why I'm like breaking down everything for you, because if it doesn't get through, like everything from early game to like mid game team fighting and coordinating stuff like that, then you're just gonna spend more, and it's just gonna be sad, mostly for you. That's why I'm concerned. All
Um, yeah.
right. I'm just trying to make
Thanks.
that clear, because like some people are saying like I shouldn't overload my students when it comes to this, but like the thing is, when will you learn these stuff? Like you have to pay again? Like what am I, scam site? So
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
yeah. Anyway, moving forward to the rant, it's a downtime in the game, so that's why I had the opportunity. We're just waiting here for the next dragon. I think that's the idea. Okay. And it's really hard to take control because we've lost so many towers, and yeah, there's not a lot of. The thing is, like, your team comp doesn't have any front line either. Oh wait,
I didn't ult
oh
here. I
yeah,
didn't ult.
you weren't able to ult. Let's see if there's a spot where you could ult here. Actually, there, that could have been it. Instead of walking back, you saw it. You saw it already. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as this guy throws the E, and you also feared, so it's not like you're not looking there. So you can see this from your peripheral. Just channel your ult. You won't be stopped at all. Yeah, you missed the opportunity. Like he basically, Lissandra did what you did earlier, except it's the other way around. Yeah,
Okay.
like she engaged without you. It's like you have to be like, you know, best buddies. I mean, he pings you for it, but like I'm pretty sure you realized the mistake like right away in this game. Okay, this is pretty sad. They're gonna get dragon. GP's probably gonna die as well. Maybe the Tryndamere. No, he doesn't. Okay.
No, he was actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, look,
This
he
game.
killed Tryndamere as well. Wow, he's like a GP one trick. Sona's dead. Okay. That's pretty meaningful. That's Baron. I think I would ping Baron here, 100%. No,
I think my intention was to go Baron, but I don't. We didn't. We
you
didn't
just
do
follow
that.
your team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's no chance of killing this one. I think. No.
Um.
It's really close. The tower hurts on this patch. Oh yeah, there's no way. I mean that like to get Fizz that low is already like super lucky. Like in my opinion, like the way I saw this thing happening, like right here. Where is it? Here. Like as soon as they start chasing, I just thought that it's immediately not gonna happen. Like that's how much like game sense I've developed over the couple of years and games that I've played. Like I just don't see it working at all. Especially when you've burned most of your ults and only Lissandra has ult. It just never works. And like 9 out of 10 games is never good results to a kill. And even then, look at how flippy it is. Like look at how like Lissandra almost gets like chunk. I mean, she died even, of course. Like, and Jinx would have died as well. Oh, like if Fizz played it better. But yeah. Mainly there, like you should have tried to ping Baron anyway. Like if your intention was to go Baron, ping it, because you're not chatting. Chatting is bad anyway.
Oh, the reason why I didn't ping Baron because I didn't want to get flamed, even though like everybody's like
Okay.
muted.
The thing is, stop thinking that way. Change your mindset when it comes to like pings. Because
Okay.
if you're not going to try and because here's the thing, it's only one of two things. Either you believe you're correct but you don't want to get flamed, or you believe you're wrong, or you believe that you're not sure if you're correct, so you'd rather follow your teammates. The problem about the second one, which is most likely, it happens a lot to a lot of players. If you're not sure and you want to follow your teammates, then this like line of reasoning will end up being bad or unknown for the most part, because you will never like compete with the same teammates in the same like in the next couple of matches. It's just not it. So every time that you follow this like decision tree, you will be thinking differently because it's gonna be the different teammate. In some games, there's one smart kid in your team that's gonna ping everything, and your macro is just the best in the world. You're gonna beat Faker. Like it's just amazing. But in some games, your macro is like this, where you skip Baron as a potential opportunity, and you just run it down because you want kills. Like it's night and day the differences of like your teammates, like whether they're like good or bad in terms of like their idea about the game. So rather than relying on them, just go for this one, wherein you're in complete command of what you're doing. You have to believe in yourself that you're correct, because you won't see the idea if you don't feel like it's at any point correct. Like whether or not, like, maybe you missed like a timing, maybe you're like 2 seconds off before doing dragon or baron, and then maybe because you're 2 seconds late it becomes like a fail. Maybe you wanted to kill someone, and then like, because you missed your E, like it becomes a fail. But it doesn't matter. You just know that at some point, like, oh, if I in this gank, if I just hit my E with my ult and all that, blah blah blah, that's a win. If we take Baron here, if we just don't take any delay, we get Baron here. As long as the thought is correct, not necessarily the result, which is on this side, um, that's the only thing you're worried about. You just need to get better at like thinking about the game.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, there are some games where we're unlucky, right? It's just unwinnable. Like you lose like 20% of your games because, well, you're unlucky. But in like majority of your games, like 60% of your games, you have total control over what you do, and it starts with you. It cannot start with anyone else, right? So it's a mindset thing. Because if you ping Baron there, who knows? Maybe they're the ones who's thinking about the second line, right? Where they're relying on teammates to guide them. Maybe if you ping Baron there, Lissandra would realize that, like, oh yeah, Baron is up. Why am I chasing this Fizz anyway? Lol. You get what I mean? Your mic there again? Okay, I'll wait for you to come back before I proceed. Hello. Are you back?
There we go.
Okay.
Am I back? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. So did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. Good execution even. Did you get a kill?
I don't
No.
think so. I'm not sure.
No. What went wrong here? I actually don't know what went wrong here. Well, I guess. Huh. Let's see. Oh, there were 3 people there. Okay, never mind. Then never mind. I thought it was a good intention actually. Yeah, no, never mind. Yeah. As much as possible, especially later on in the game, you want to play with your team. This is applicable with pretty much 90% of the champs. The only time you don't do this is like when you're an assassin and you have to find like a angle. But for the most part, especially because you're Fiddlesticks and you're like a team fighting champion with your Crowstorm, don't do solo plays. Like it is really more likely to be detrimental than it is helpful to your team, unless you know for sure the play works. So yeah, in this case, you already know there's like 3 people there. You're just alone doing there. Senna can't back you up. GP can't back you up. They're way too busy on the top side of the fight that they're not anywhere near proximity here.
Okay.
I mean, Jinx was able to provide support to you with the rocket, but that's
Thanks,
not
Jinx.
enough. Yeah, she tried. But yeah, again, another one of those bad decisions. I mean, I think GB is gonna, like. Also, another thing is that another concept in solo queue or in general about the game is that sometimes when you press tab, you have to look at your teammates. And already in this game, like what we've watched so far, we know that Lysandra isn't the best at engaging. She doesn't really find the best opportunities. Jinx
Right.
isn't also the best at dealing damage. She's not just outright carrying these fights, and potentially it's because she doesn't have a lot of items yet. And I mean, Senna's a support. So in terms of like playing around the carry, it seems like this guy knows what he's doing. I have a pretty good feeling about this guy, especially when he was in that moment where he was getting caught off by Sejuani and
Sejuani.
Tryndamere in blue side, and he killed them both. So like for in terms of like writing a resume, this guy deserves an award already. I like this guy. That's what I would be thinking. So maybe you're not necessarily looking at, well, I'm playing around with the team and blah blah blah. You could also just alternative look at it as, okay, I'm gonna make sure this GP carries the game for us. To do that, like I have to make sure that I follow up on his plays or I create plays for him. Like if you have a good player on your team, play for him. He will carry you. Like you just have to
Okay.
believe. Yeah. Because there are some games where it's like this, where you're not doing all that hot. You're 6, 5, and 6. It's not like the best scores. Um, Not doing so bad either. You're significantly doing better than your Lysandra at this point. In terms of like your impact in the game so far. Um, but by all means, like you could surrender, um, your crown of trying to carry this game because you realize you have a potential strong teammate here in the form of GP. Look, he gets another kill. Like,
Oh,
it's
wait.
massive.
By the way, I was actually what item should have I bought there? I was thinking Shadow Flame.
Oh,
I
let's see. Um, Honestly, probably it's worth to go. Maybe I'll get like a void staff here,
uh
just
okay.
to just to have like a synergy with your Sork shoes already. And a lot of them even on their base MRs. I mean, like for example, like this guy has QSS as well. Sejuani has higher resistances compared to others. He might have gotten conditioning here on Resolve. So they have like some of your targets, especially Caitlyn, is a very important target here. It's probably the most important target you kill and you
Yeah.
win the team fight. Um, so in terms of your targets here, they have higher MR, and so you want to pen um as much as you can. And that's like the flat pen from Sork, which is 18, plus the 40% you get from Void, which is a lot. Given
Oh,
the
sweet.
items. Okay. So yeah, ideally here Void Staff. I mean, Shadow Flame isn't bad. I think Void Staff will do a little bit more damage though, and it's also very cheap. Like look at the difference. Like it's 200 gold cheaper, and because you haven't been getting to farm a whole lot, like if you need to get an item fast to win the game, that might be it. It's also a factor you want to consider.
What I actually think, I don't know the items,
Hmm.
so like forgive me. What I was thinking is like if they had more MR, Void Staff would be better. But I wasn't like really detecting a lot of MR. Like the only person who would build it is Sejuani, so that's why I opted for Shadow Flame.
Yes, but
That's what.
also, that's how do I explain this? It's not entirely true that you need to have like boatloads of MR for void staff to work. The thing is, um what do you call this? Void staff penetrates total MR.
Okay.
40% of your total MR. It's not bonus MR, it's the whole thing, right? So no matter what, this is going to pen a lot. 40% is not a small number by any means. Like it's gonna do a lot. And the thing we talked about earlier when we press tab somewhere down the line here is that your main target being Caitlyn already bought an MR item. Like this is decent enough for Void Staff to like work more than Shadow Flame.
Okay.
So that's the idea. Like, And also, it's very short-sighted to think that, oh, I need Shadow Flame because they're not building MR yet. I mean, also Sejuani has MR. Um,
I didn't know that item had MR. I'm
there you
sorry.
go. But yeah, so it's a bit short-sighted because it's not like you're buying the item right now. It's not like you have a full Void Staff right now or a full Shadow Flame. So what happens is they could, lose a fight right now, and they think to themselves, "Wow, Fiddle and Lissandra are doing a lot of damage. Maybe I should get like a Wit's End or like a Hex Drinker on Tryndamere. Um maybe Sona down the line buys like a Crucible. You like Mikhail's Crucible because like Lissandra's a thing, gives me MR. All of a sudden, all of your targets have MR except for Fizz.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like like it's better to think in advance because they are incentivized to build MR actually. Like you have double AP, a lot of CC for Merc Treads to also work. So potentially by building Void Staff, it scares them to build MR because your Void Staff is just gonna get stronger, right?
Mm. Right. Right.
Okay. I like the intention here. Whether or not it works or not, I like it. Very good. You wanna know why? Or do you already
Please.
know why?
Actually, you know what? Enlighten me. I don't know why.
It's because the concept I just explained, right? When you have a good player on your team, I don't care how much it takes. You have to let that guy carry the game for you. And look at this. You set him up real quick. Boom, fear, easy. Yeah, you're making him look like a god. He's probably telling his friends right now, like, guys, I just survived the sickest 1v2. You won't believe it. It's
Oh wait,
fine.
I know the reason why.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a really stupid reason. Uh, I was in proximity of the GP and he was dying. And if
Yeah.
I leave him alone, he's going to flame me and ping me. So I just decided to like ult him right there.
Well,
But
well, well, yeah, but like the thing is, you could have gone anywhere. Like, look at this. You guys are chasing Tryndamere. You could have cut him off. You could have like went around here and then ulted that way. No, you had your priorities straight up, dude. Like whether or not you thought about it, like you just know innately that you need to be here, which is kind of good. You just need to. The next step would be being able to practice, like thinking like this, actively
right,
thinking about this. Because if what you're saying is true, that you're just fortunate that you're in proximity and all that, and you want to avoid getting flamed, um, well, it's not gonna help you grow up, or yeah, grow in terms of like rank.
right.
So, all right, okay. Here, I won't commit as much to chasing. You're probably gonna get 3 hit here. Oop, exhaust. Okay. Well, I didn't know he didn't have ult. I guess you knew that. Maybe. Oh, Tryndamere ulted. Okay,
He
never mind.
didn't.
Never mind. Never
I
mind.
actually didn't know he
Okay,
ulted.
but like as far as the game state goes, there is
Yeah,
information that he doesn't have ult. So I guess it's okay. Yeah, never mind.
yeah.
It's because we didn't see the fight here. I'll try to go back. I think I know where I missed it. Here, like in that like while Senna's fighting here, that's when that information happened, and we were too busy fighting mid. So that's why, like from our perspective, I thought it was risky because I didn't know whether Tryndamere had ult or not. And then someone pinged, Senna pinged, we should kill Tryndamere here, and Jinx said he has no ult based on pings. So yeah, and Senna said she also had ult to support you guys when she spawns. So yeah, it's pretty much 100% win play. That's good. Um, okay. Here I'm not even sure why you reset.
Uh,
Pink wards.
yeah. Well, well, the reason why I buy pink wards is because like I saw this. It's a really shallow reason. I just wanted I just wanted to make sure that I have no person would ever like anticipate me in that area if I'm ever going to ult. So that's why I bought pink wards. That's it.
Okay, that's a pretty good reasoning. I just don't understand why two though.
Because I see high yellow people do it, so they just do it. Like I even like I don't know if they did this back in MSI, but yeah,
They do.
I
They
think
do.
it was. I think they do it in. Yeah, I didn't really watch MSI, but I
They
saw a match this year where they were doing it. It's like maybe
yeah
that's a good idea. Yeah, that's it.
yeah. Okay, but okay. So here's the thing. The thing is, you have to train yourself to think and not just like blindly follow people.
Right,
That's what I've been telling you this game. Actually, I've been trying to um tell you how to think about certain situations rather than um oh that's good, that's bad. I'm not just telling you like the result. I'm telling you like how I got there. And for this specific like thing, and this is gonna apply to everything that you're gonna learn. Okay, when someone tells you to buy 2 pink wards because people are doing it, you have to know why. Because to me, you're wasting 75 extra gold. When will you able to use the second control ward? When your first control ward dies? Why would you place a control ward that's so easily taken?
replaceable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are we doing? What are we doing with the second? Yeah. So it's like it's pretty weird. I think that unless the fight is like the last fight of the game, the fight that settles it for all, then maybe yeah, just might as well splurge your gold because you'll never know when you're gonna need the control ward. But the game
Right,
state
right.
is very winnable. It's not gonna be one of those games where um like there's only one chance left. No, this game's gonna drag on for a while. At least for now. Oh, this looks weird. Oh, no Zonias too, and you dashed in.
Right.
I mean, you at least you created space. Whatever. That's fine. You don't need to know like specific mechanics on like how to play a team fight just yet. But just to show you. Where is it? Oh, okay. We are here, and here I want you to flash on the right side instead of left
Ah,
because here I need you to create space on this side so that your teammates no longer have to worry about this side because you're handling it. There's no way these two kill you. Absolutely. Them combined, there's no way. Actually impossible. Like maybe Sejuani chunks you for a bit, but you're gonna drain it. Um, so you're handling this side, and then your teammates are gonna move closer and start hitting these two. So you're sort of splitting the fight.
okay.
But again, that's more advanced to see. Like I'm not expecting you to see it right away, but yeah. Just the foresight there is that you have enough damage and enough survivability to split the fight, but you don't have enough damage and survivability to like quickly kill a target from this side. That's why you focus here.
All right.
All right. So, but at the end of the day, because you chose a side to commit to, it made the team fight a lot easier because the like Sona and Sejuani like couldn't just join back because they just die. Yep. So okay, nice. You guys got Drake. We're on the way to our Shadow Flame.
Oh wait, are these types of like at this part of the game, like what should I be thinking about like at this part of the game? Should I just be waiting for the objectives to just come up and then we just farm until dragon comes up and then we fight for it or something? What do
Yeah,
we do?
yeah, pretty much
Oh, okay.
exactly what you said. Either you wait for an objective, you it's like it's one of three things. It's like basically the default plan is to farm, wait for objectives, and then just whatever, just play for vision, all that. And then the other plan that might happen depending on the game is that maybe you could pick off someone or something. Like say if Sona randomly walks in here, yeah, kill her. Let her know. Uh, you know. Um, but for the most part, yeah, you're just mostly gonna do this.
Okay. All right.
And the reason being why you choose this path is because it it's the safest. You're just clearing your own camps, free XP, free gold, as we said, and yeah, really, you just have to look at the next objective. Here, the objective is either you take inhib, which is pretty hard to do. You're gonna go deeper in the base. You take bot tier 2, which is also pretty hard to do because they're currently taking control over it. Like, we're not there yet. And Baron. And we don't really have like enough intel to just randomly start Baron, and even then it's still a risk. So because none of the options look appealing, farm. That's it.
Okay.
That's essentially what you want to break down when it comes to like mid to late game decision making. I'm pretty sure a whole lot of nothing happens here. Like it's just everyone's just farming.
Yeah.
Here, everyone's just dancing around Baron. People are gonna catch waves. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah, this is like a terrible ult.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I had Lissandra. Maybe not
No,
so
no,
bad.
but this it's still pretty dicey because
Okay.
again you didn't communicate that you want to go in. Like look at this. I know there's like an urgency, but even then now it's even less of an excuse for you to like not be able to ping this. Like here because you think that there is the opportunity is right now. It has to be right now. You have to ping like 3 times, 5 times to make sure Lissandra follows up on you.
Okay.
Right? And then you wait for her. You wait until she throws the E, you ult, bam. Here, you're just ulting alone. Like, all of a sudden, like, look at this. There's like a split second where she hesitates. Here, she goes back up a bit, then she goes back down. It's like, oh, wait, we're going in.
Okay. My fault then.
Yeah. And sure, it's very easy to be toxic. Like, Lissandra, why aren't you following up? Blah, blah, blah. Like, no, but you should have, like,
Well,
told her.
to be honest, I wasn't really trying expecting Lissandra to commit. I was just thinking this is a good opportunity, and then just gamble if like a gamble a fight. Basically, I wasn't really thinking here, honestly.
Okay, but like yeah, it's still you still have a part to play in this team, and like if you really want to win, you might as well try hard and try to coordinate stuff with your team instead of like doing stuff on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
And even then, it wasn't even the best gamble. Like, what was the target there?
I was look. It's just a terrible decision.
Oh, actually, maybe it's not that bad. If he gets a Juani here, it's pretty big. That's about it.
I had like the vision, like Fiddlesticks ult vision. It's like, oh, there's 4 people here and they can't see me. I have to ult. That was like, I think that was the reason why I ulted there. Yeah.
But like, I think there is an angle there where if the Juani dies there, that should have been big.
Okay. So.
Okay, so now you spawn. You have Shadow Flame. It's one tapped by the Juani ult. That's fine. Yes, your teammate's dead. I mean, this is literally the point where you just farm. There's no other place to be. You pop Predator to scare them off.
No. I popped it to actually get away. Yeah. I saw Sejuani here, and then I think they were closing in on me. I was expecting
that way, though.
Yeah, I was expecting Tryndamere from the south, and then I just like instinctively. Like I really need to get away from here. I just pressed Predator.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. Like if you run away, you don't get the movement.
Yeah. It was just an instinct thing.
Although
terrible instinct.
Oh, there's a trick though. Do you know the trick to get movement speed while running away?
No.
There's actually a trick. Riot hasn't fixed this yet. Because I don't know, feature maybe. Who knows? So here, when you tap Predator, what you do is you click back once. And you click back away. And you get the MS.
Oh, sweet.
Yep. You just keep doing that.
It is a feature.
Yeah, look at the movement speed buff duration here. It lasts for a while.
Right.
So like you could keep sort of clicking back a bit here and there, gaining some space, or gaining like some ground towards the like right hand side. Like even if you're slowly like clicking back just to get some movement speed, it's a nice thing. It has saved a couple of situations on my end when I tried using it.
Oh, sweet. All right, good to know.
Anyway, so yeah, nothing happens here. Mainly just Baron. Okay, so Giovanni tries to go on aggressive. Nothing happens. Oh, well, that happened. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, they got a pick here, and it was pretty bad.
I think now they try to do Baron. No, they don't. Oh, wait,
We
they do.
we trade. Yeah, we traded for the dragon. We really
Okay.
can't do it.
Yeah, that's about as best you can get. And this is the counterplay that that is more familiar with when it comes to these players. Like mid to late game wise, they understand trading objectives is a thing. Earlier in this VOD when I told you that it's a good intention to gank bot because Sejuani gank top is another example of that, but it's just an early game example that most people tend to ignore at low elo. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is.
It was yeah, it was int. It was an
Yeah,
int play.
that wasn't it. Those are the perfect words to use. Because like what does Tryndamere dying here mean for the
It
rest
was
of the
but
game?
I was thinking maybe a pick would be good, and then we could snowball from there. They couldn't engage if it was a 4v5, so I was probably thinking that. Yeah, it was an int play. It's just no excuse for this one.
Yep. I mean, so even if you think a pick is good, the thing is, if you look at this logically, like with foresight, there's an offset chance that you kill Tryndamere here, sure. But you also committed your flash to it. So even if you were to Zhonya's here at any point, you're gonna die. And if you're trading 1 for 1 when they have Baron buff and you don't, they're just gonna get more turrets. So what's the rush? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there just shouldn't be like a need to kill them because if they keep trading down members 1 for 1, they will win because they have Baron buff. So yeah, see, like this is so unnecessary. Like if we've just been clearing waves so they can't use their minions to take turrets, none of this would have happened. So yeah. Okay, it's a very tough game. Only GP is pretty much playing well on your team.
Right.
Uh, we just wait
Right.
now, cause it's now they're gonna try to siege, and you guys are gonna fight uh, a random moment here, where Lissandra probably catches someone or you. And this is difficult. Like fiddlesticks, whenever the team is behind like this, and you have no like you don't have like the best ult spots. It's pretty hard to play. So I don't blame you
Yeah.
for this one. There's just not much you could do. The game ends here. Okay. Yeah, it does, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's there.
So, as a short recap of like stuff that we need to learn from this game, making early game plans in champion select, loading screen, making use of your time before the game even starts. Because you know, a good quote that I once heard was, "Failing to plan is like planning to fail." So
Yeah. True.
yeah, true. Big dubs. And then earlier on in this game, we talked about as practicing your clears is one thing. Make sure that you're consistent. It's the only consistent thing that you could do in as a
Okay.
jungler.
All
Like
right. I'll practice that one.
for as long as you're not getting invaded, um, you should you should be able to clear brain dead, your full clear or whatever it is that your jungler wants to.
Okay.
Stuff like this, like the D aggro and the red buff should never happen
Yeah.
in your future games. And it's just practice to it. It's so free. You don't even have to commit a game for it. So there's that. I also remember that we talked about, in general, a lot of decision making needs to be worked on. Again, play some games, or the other recommendation that I told you is to
Watch more.
watch
Watch more.
watch high elo games. Preferably if you can find like a pro player that that you think is good. Um,
Okay.
there's if you want recommendations, I could list them to you like uh after this WOD review, and link you some specifically, maybe fiddlesticks or something else. I could find one. But yeah, those are easily searchable, to be honest.
Okay.
And your goal, your target goal is on Fiddlesticks should be around um should be around
3-0.
310 to like 315. Like
I've done 307 once, might, but like I have to be consistent on that one.
yeah, well, I mean this is just the baseline. Obviously,
Okay.
anything earlier than that, because I also have to factor in that you're not like challenger or anything like that.
Right.
Like
Right. Right.
you will
Okay.
mess up like certain parts of this clear at some point or whatever. So this is like a safety, like
Okay.
assignment. Like maybe if you get 15, okay, try to get 10. If you get 10, try to get like 9. Like 8. Like slowly work on it until you refine and get better.
All right. All right.
What else? I also mentioned uh how to use your ultimates, making sure that they commit to an action first before doing so, using smite charges so that you can stack up your jungle item faster. Um, what else is in there?
Um,
Some itemization notes between like Shadow Flame and Void Staff.
my camera control needs work as well.
Yep, camera control, F keys,
FKs.
um, using
Uh,
tab to get information to count jungle, CS,
right. 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 That one.
um, stuff like that. Pressing tab as soon as the jungler shows up on the map. And all those. I mean, again, I'm gonna have this on YouTube. You're gonna have
Oh,
a
sweet.
good amount of time to review this. Do you have any questions so far? Any clarifications or?
Um. Okay. I don't want to extend the time, but I have one more question.
Yeah.
If I okay, so pathing is like the goal is efficiency, correct?
Yes.
What if I get? I know this is a completely like what if scenario. There's not really a consistent way to do it.
Yep.
Well, what if I get invaded and then I don't like I'm not entirely sure how I could still get my level 4 at, let's say, 310 if
Mm-hmm.
I get invaded. What's sort of like the countermeasure for that? Like sort of like a bandage for that one. What do I do when that happens?
Um, that's kind of hard to answer, but I'll try to answer it the best way I can. Like,
Okay.
so if you get invaded on, and let's say you don't die, because in some cases, especially against good players, you will die as fiddlesticks. You have such a weak early game, you're very vulnerable. But if let's say best case scenario, you don't die. The idea there is to potentially counter jungle. That's the best option because then you're trading junglers or like camps basically. Um, and your second best option is to just avoid the enemy jungler permanently. Um, whether it's
Okay.
through wards or anything, and just try to clear your own camps and take whatever you can get, like cutting your losses. And if even that's hard, um, just try to get enough of XP and then get like a point in your fear or something, and maybe try for like a cheeky gank. That's like a desperation tool at that point. But generally, your games would either go to the first one, which is you counter jungle them, or the second one where you're just getting what you can get. But generally, it's way more important to avoid dying to
Okay.
like invade type junglers. Yeah.
All right.
But those are all just like guidelines, not like a Bible or anything like that you have to
Yeah.
follow
Yeah.
that. Generally because like I said, the first clear is normally what's the most consistent part about jungle. If you get invaded on or any other variable changes that isn't normally like what you're used to, that's in your absolute like um you know it's your responsibility to adapt to everything that's happening. Like I won't be able to tell you what to do in each game, but just the idea is don't die, get farm, and try to minimize that the stuff that they get, and try to like find opportunities where you could get some sort of advantage elsewhere.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Um.
Anything else?
Okay. So Fiddlesticks is like I think a full tier champion. I'm pretty like if you're going to recommend me like a champion besides Fiddlesticks, what do you recommend?
Um, I'm not sure on the top of my head. I'd have to ask you some other questions regarding that, but we could talk that over after the VOD review. I think that's fine.
Okay.
But like for the purpose of this VOD review and anything else you need to learn, like, is there any other questions?
Um, I don't like nothing right now. That's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. For now, wait. Let me stop the recording.
Okay.